Well, friends, the lawsuits are rolling in. Lawsuits to put a stop to Donald Trump's lawlessness, his reign of terror designed to force out of their jobs hundreds of thousands of public servants. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, Donald Trump's administration sent an email to all federal government employees, an email titled Fork in the Road, an email designed to intimidate people into fleeing their government jobs, running from their public service jobs. And this Fork in the Road email, we're going to look at a little bit of it in a minute, gave all government employees just a little over a week to, and I'm quoting the email, write, resign, and hit send, with the message of the email being resign or else. You know, friends, Donald Trump may be flooding the zone with lawlessness, but those he's trying to victimize are now flooding the courts with righteous lawsuits. Let's start with the new reporting. This from HuffPost. Headline, unions sue to stop Trump's deferred resignation program. The unions are seeking an injunction to block what they call an illegal ultimatum for federal workers. And that article begins, labor unions sued the federal government Tuesday over President Donald Trump's controversial deferred resignation program, saying the effort to nudge government workers out of their jobs violates the law. Officials have told federal employees in a series of emails that they can submit a September resignation now and still receive pay and benefits while doing little or no work. And when some people said, wait a minute, that can't be, that sounds crazy. I'm going to hit resign now, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to be paid a government salary for 8 months while doing little or no work. That can't possibly be. Well, OPM sent out a follow-up email. Follow-up messaging from OPM sought to offer reassurances on the program, telling employees that they would not have to work during the resignation period, but they would still be paid for those 8 months of full government salary. You know what that sounds like, friends? Hundreds of thousands of people sitting at home but being paid a full government salary for 8 months while they do no work for the American people. That's Trump's proposal. That would be fraud, waste, and abuse. My editorial edition. The article continues. Now here's who filed the lawsuits. The unions, the American Federation of Government Employees, the National Association of Government Employees, and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees are seeking an injunction. In other words, getting the judge to order a stop to this nonsense, are seeking an injunction to block the Trump administration from moving forward with the effort. The Federal Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, has said workers have until this Thursday to accept the offer, which it dubbed Fork in the Road. The unions called the offer arbitrary and unlawful in a statement Tuesday. Quote, the Fork Directive amounts to a clear ultimatum to a sweeping number of federal employees: resign now or face the possibility of job loss without compensation in the near future, they said. The administration's efforts to induce resignations raises a number of legal concerns. For one, Congress has only funded the federal government on a continuing resolution through March 14, meaning that the administration, the Trump administration, is offering federal workers money that isn't even there yet. The unions argue that the move violates the Anti-Deficiency Act, which forbids agencies from obligating money that Congress hasn't appropriated. The offer also poses a potential conflict with ethics rules. OPM has told employees that they could take a second job while still on the federal payroll, but outside work is generally restricted for such government workers. Democrats and employee unions have warned that the Trump administration might not hold up its end of the deal. Wait a minute, Donald Trump not paying someone what he promises to pay them? Oh, come on, what are the odds of that happening? And then let's finish with this, friends. Let's add some insult to injury in this Office of Personnel Management, this Trump agency, this OPM email that went out to all federal government employees. Get this, quote, "We encourage you to find a job in the private sector as soon as you would like to do so," one insulting email from OPM explained. And friends, here's the most offensive line in the fork in the road email. Quote, "The way to greater American prosperity is encouraging people to move from lower productivity jobs in the public sector to higher productivity jobs in the private sector." The public servants who have dedicated 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years of their professional career to serving the American people were apparently all along working in lower productivity jobs in the public sector. Fork in the road memo? Fork you. It's my editorial edition. And friends, here's just a little bit from Donald Trump's fork in the road email to all federal government employees that was sent on January 28th. Deferred resignation email to federal employees, January 28, 2025. Upon review of the below deferred resignation letter, if you wish to resign, 1. Select reply to this email. You must reply from your government account. A reply from an account other than your .gov or .mil account will not be accepted. 2. Type the word resign into the body of this reply email. Hit send. The last day to accept the deferred resignation program is February 6, 2025. That's right, the Trump administration told the federal workers, I'm giving you 9 days. January 28th through February 6th, and by February 6th, you better hit resign. So friends, federal government employees, civil servants, public servants who might have 5 years with the federal government, 10 years, 20, 25, 30, maybe more, were given 9 days to, as the fork in the road email says, just type one word, resign, and hit send. And what's pointed out, among other things, in this new lawsuit that was just filed trying to protect the rights of all federal government employees is things like the following. The employees might ask, well, what are the implications for my pension? Trump administration, apparently their answer is, you don't need to know that. But what about health insurance? Don't worry about it. Retirement eligibility? Yeah. Not your concern. Well, how about service tenure requirements? Just give it a rest, federal government employees, will you? Well, what about reinstatement rights? Just shut up, write one word, resign, and hit send. Or else we won't be able to guarantee your job if you don't write resign and hit send. And friends, some good news based on some recent reporting. it looks like only a very small fraction of the federal workforce is giving in to the intimidation in that fork in the road email. Relatively few federal government employees are actually writing that one word, resign, and hitting send. And some additional good news is this new lawsuit and other lawsuits that have been filed and that will be filed are proof positive that individuals and organizations are standing up to Trump's lawlessness, to his attempted intimidation of federal government employees. Because those federal government employees know that justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. I look forward to talking with you all tomorrow. And can I add a quick PS? If you like these Daily Justice Matters videos, can I ask you humbly to just hit subscribe on YouTube? It is always free. I never put anything behind a paywall, but it does help. So I would appreciate it if you just take a second or two to go ahead and hit subscribe. I'll see you all tomorrow, friends.